Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Welcome, Nicole's Vegas Views. I have a special guest today, Kendria Johnson. Uh,
Yes.
I'm still learning the time zones and learning
That's
how to
so
put something together when
yeah.
it's not in person for the interviews. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to be on my show and
Mhm.
share with, it's going to be globally, the world with just your inspiring ways to everything that you've went through, which we'll
Mhm.
share to be able to write a book and also connect with others through your public
Mhm.
speaking as well.
Yes.
So yeah,
All
thank
right,
you.
so thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me, Nicole. I appreciate it. It's not that late. You're doing pretty well with the timing. It's not super,
What's your
super late.
time there? Could you explain where you're from? Could
Sure. I'm originally from Dallas, Texas, but I've moved to the United Arab Emirates, so it's 11 p.m. here in the Middle East.
well, you're doing fantastic because
Thank you.
I'm barely making noon my time. I'm like, I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore. I'm trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
There's so much. Thank you so much for being inspiring a teacher since
Mhm.
2001.
Mhm. Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep.
I'm definitely going to learn a lot today, along with all the viewers and everything.
Yeah.
I just, can you please explain to the viewers and others
Mhm.
your book, Teacher for Life?
Yeah. So that book came about. This is my second book. My that book came about basically through, as you stated, Nicole. I have been a teacher for over 22 years now, and halfway through my career, I experienced what a lot of teachers go through. I won't say all, I'll just say most teachers go through, and that is this wall of burnout where you're just kind of doing the job. You don't even know why you're doing it anymore. You lost your passion, you lost your purpose, and you love the kids and you love what you do, but you're exhausted because you're wearing way too many hats, and you're doing way too many things, and you're having a hard time separating your personal life from your work life. And I know that that's not where that's kind of common. Not just teachers do that and go through that, but as a school teacher, I was going through that phase, and I didn't have the vocabulary or the words to describe was happening to me. And so I talked to my friends and neighbors and all my colleagues, and they would all say, "Oh, you just got to put your head down, Johnson, and just get over it. It comes with the business. It comes with the business. It's just what we do." And it wasn't working. And I was like, I don't know how much more longer I can just smile and take it and grin and bear it. I couldn't do it anymore. It was taking a toll on my mental health, my physical health, and my emotional health. And I needed a break. I needed to get some help from somewhere, somebody who knew something that was going on with me. So that last bout of illness that I had, whether it was stress related, I said, this is enough. I was in the hospital for 5 days with a stress related illness. My body had basically broken down. I had hives all over my body. I was malnourished. I couldn't, my blood pressure was sky high.
Function.
And yeah, and my hair was coming out. I had plugs of hair out of my head that was coming out. My hair wouldn't grow. So I had to wear wigs a lot, like a cancer patient, pretty much. And it was ridiculous. And I was like, I'm 37 years old. Why am I going through this? And I just had enough. I had just had enough. So I made some really, really, really drastic decisions. One of which was I took a job overseas. Now I don't recommend that to my clients or anybody who reads the book. However,
No, it might be.
however, it was my journey. It was part of my journey for sure, for sure. And what I did was I decided that when I got here, that if I couldn't cut it here, then I'm done. Teaching ain't my thing anymore. It's just not for me. And I'm not going to kill myself trying to teach children. I'm not going to do that. So 2 years in, I did, three major things. One of them was I got help from a mental health professional. I called a psychiatrist and I paid them out of my own pocket because a lot of mental health professionals are not covered by any kind of HMO or any kind of medical program, right? And then I got an accountability buddy, so like a life partner, a life coach, someone who would help me and make me accountable to do the things that the other person was telling me to do. And then I started to write down my goal. That was the third thing that I did. I wrote down my goals. I wrote down who I was and why did I start this thing? How did I get here? And how did I get so fed up with the job that I used to love, that I fell in love with such an early age? And I started to just make notes. And being who I am, I'm a writer by nature. I am. I've always been a writer. I just now starting to write books, but I've always been a journaler. So I journaled all my things down and I wrote them all down. And fast forward 8 years, and I'm like, I wonder if there's any other teachers that are going through what I'm going through. And so during the pandemic, that really, boy, that pandemic that did some numbers on our mental health, didn't it? More, we had to spend some time with ourselves on that one. And so I started to just reach out to other teachers and do type of like group sessions. I didn't call it that. I was just reaching out and I was helping other people that were just like me. And then we talked and, you should really think about this doing this, full time, Kendra. And I was like, oh, really? You think I can make some money doing it? They were like, yeah. And so got some business coaches involved. I started looking it up, how could I do this? What would this be called? Should I charge people? How much should I charge people? What should I charge them? And I just started to put it all down in paper. And then then eventually last year it turned into a book. And it's
Wait,
six.
that book. Can you show it again? Can you show it? Because I'm gonna put a link to it afterwards.
Yeah,
Read it.
it's Teacher of the Year, and it's named such that as because some of the most brilliant, positive, influential, enthusiastic people I've ever met in my life have never gotten that title. And I feel like every single teacher that actually puts up with and stays into this profession deserves that title. So that's why I titled it Teacher of the Year. But it's basically a toolkit. So when you get to those points where you're like, I've had it. I don't know if I could do this another year, then you can go into and read my book, jot down some notes about what you can and can't do, because a lot of the things that I was going through and all of the problems I were having were self-inflicted. I was taking on way too much, saying yes to things that I should have said no to. And when I put myself first, things started to change. When I realized that I matter, I need to put the oxygen mask on me first. I need to take care of me first so I can go out there and be a servant to the world. When I put that thing as a priority, then everything started to fall into place. And I don't change. I don't claim to in my workshops in the book or any of the clients that I've served. I don't claim to change the world of education. We don't change it. It's still kind of messed up out there. Teacher
It-
shortage is real. Teacher burnout is real. People are leaving the profession at alarming rates. But I've changed my mindset, and I can help other people do the same. So that is how we got here. I hope that answers your question.
Goodness, well, I have a lot
Yeah.
more. They were
Yeah.
piling up in my head.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. And it's influencing. You're a mentor, you're an
Yes.
inspirer, you're a doer, you're a creator, you're a maker.
Mhm.
You're just and global too. Like I got the goosebumps when you were talking. I'm like, yes, more, more, more. How did you come up with those 3 steps in the beginning? How did you know for the mental health profession to get that help, the accountability with a partner, and writing down the goals? Those are, I wouldn't know where to start. I'm very
Uh,
confused in my showbiz life, and I'm gonna have to get your book too. I'm gonna have to
yeah.
get it. And the tools I feel for even teaching will
Yeah.
help with the showbiz because you can get burned out very quickly.
Very quickly. Yeah.
Question like why am I doing this? Why am I
Yes.
here?
Why am I doing? How did I get here? Why am I doing this? I'm such, am I weird? Am I the only person that feels like it? Because you get to the point where you hate your job and you love it, but you used to love it. So you love what you do, but you hate coming to work. You hate coming to work,
Made
but
it.
you feel guilty about hating coming to work because you love, you feel like you're a servant, but she's like, I'm dying. You're not supposed to die as a servant. You're supposed to live and live abundantly and be, happy in this job, because no one wants a crabby, mean, full of anger teacher. Nobody wants that. No one wants that angry teacher in their classroom. But yet that's what we have, because that's all that's left in there. And there's got to be a different way. There's got to be a better
Gave
way.
so much that you couldn't
Mhm.
replenish yourself. You didn't know how
Yes,
to replenish yourself.
exactly. I did
That's
not. I did not. I didn't have those tools then. I have them now, but I did not have those tools then.
work.
And I just really, and you asked me where did it start? Well, they don't have a mental health wellness problem in the school district. They don't have enough of them. How's that? And my
Excellent.
goal is to stop that and change the conversation and do something about that. But that's another story for another day.
A
But
doer.
because they don't have that, they offer, and they call it an ear program. I write about it in the book. It's in there. Ear program is employee assistant something something something. I don't know what the stands for. And you can call them for free. They give you 30 minutes to talk. And at the end of my 30 minutes, I was like, I haven't even started telling you about, what's going on in my personal life. And, then you're, oh, well, can we reschedule? And then they want, $250 an hour. Well, I don't have that. But at that point, I was like, I need to talk to someone who can actually diagnose what's going on with me, because I was having anxiety attacks. Just you name it. There was nothing that was going on was stress related. Everything stress related. I was having panic attacks, all of those. I had fainting spells because my blood pressure would go down. My blood, and then it would go down to the point where it was zero, and then I'd pass out. All of these things were happening to me, and I'm like, "What is going on?" I'm like literally 30, 35, 36, 37 while this is going on, and I'm like, "I'm too young to be
Yeah.
going through these things." So, yeah.
Saying though, I mean, they know you're going through this. They could see it not just by
Mhm.
you verbally communicating, they're seeing it physically,
Yeah.
emotionally. They can feel that energy too when
Mhm.
it's not you're needing the help. And so
Mhm.
you're waiting for the help that probably didn't
Mhm.
come. And then you're like,
No.
I'm gonna go help myself by getting the
I'm
right help.
gonna help
Yeah.
I'm gonna go help myself, exactly, and one of the things I talk about in the book is those 2 years that I was working on myself, I told no one. Because I tried telling people and then they just tell you to suck it up or they'll tell you, "Oh, it'll get better." It doesn't get better, and it doesn't get better by itself. So I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna do this work on me," because I came to this country and I refuse to cry in a different country. I refuse to be stressed in a different country. I refuse to be unhappy in another space because one thing people do when they come to different places, they change environments, is that they think that automatically through osmosis that your life is going to change. No, no, no. You must do the work. You must do the work. You must do the introspection and you must do the, the whatever it is that you need to do, talk to a professional, whatever it is that you are seeking, you're going to have to get up and do something about it. But I just was like, I'm not going home different. I'm just not. If I have to go home next week, I'm not going home differently. So I advise or I talk to my clients and I have them do those inventory things. There's a book and there's a chapter. After each chapter there is a section where you journal, and I have them write down your priorities, write down your values, write down the most important things to you and the most important people to you. And then when you leave the day, when you leave for today, you look forward to seeing those people. And then whatever happens at school, you leave that at school and at work. And then there is a trick in the mind that you can do where you shut things off. And it's just your brain just does it now. If my phone was to ring right now at 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday and it was my work, I'd be like, who is that calling? Who are these people? Who are you? I don't even know you. It's the weekend. Hello. I'm not a school
So
teacher
you
on the
shut it
weekend.
down to
Shut
get
it down.
boundaries, healthy boundaries.
Yes, absolutely. And there is nothing wrong with saying no. I have a whole, well, if there's an addendum to my book that I've sent out to people like yourself. I would love to give it, I will share it with your viewers, called The 100 Ways to Say No. That no is a complete sentence. And I give them no, well, literally 100 ways to say no, respectfully say no. But yeah, setting healthy boundaries is part of it. That's just one part of it because basically when you're setting boundaries for yourself, you're showing people how to treat you. You're teaching them how to treat you. And the biggest fear that teachers have, well, I won't be promoted or I won't be respected or I won't be I won't get, a good valuation because I'm saying no. But I said the no that you give is way better for you because it doesn't matter what they think. You're not here to not hurt their feelings. You are here to preserve your life and to be the best teacher and the best woman, man, teacher of the year you can be. It is not your responsibility to be responsible for their feelings and how they accept the no or don't accept it. That's not your job. Your job is just to say it
So my
and mean
biggest
it.
concern, a lot, including myself, is I guess you do have that worry about
Mhm.
think. So you have
Yeah,
to reprogram yourself,
have to.
condition yourself that you can't be accountable and responsible for how other people feel or think because
Mhm.
regardless of how you are,
Mhm.
you're gonna run anyway. Regardless if you say
Anyway, any way they want anyway. And if you say yes all the time and then up and say no, they
"Woo-wee,"
might even be offended, but they'll get over it. They will get over it. And I always tell them, I said, think back on the last time your boss did something that irked you or made you angry. They did not care about how you felt. They gave you a project, they wanted it done, they told you to get it done. They didn't care about your kids, they didn't care about your husband, nothing. So it's that same mentality. You flip it. You flip that. And so
empowering.
when they ask you to do something that you don't really feel comfortable with or that's outside of your boundaries, you say, "Well, I would love to be able to acquiesce that request. However, it doesn't align with my values at this time." Okay? And
Amazing
then whatever they feel about it, whatever they feel about it.
to give back to yourself like that and to be
Mhm.
able to do the work to empower yourself. So
Mhm.
you did the work and you put it in a book.
Yeah.
People can read it. And if they can't read audio, so that's where I went wrong in life. I was never, and even into my 40s, mid 40s, I'm not a reader still. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
I tune out. I'll read something. I'm like, what did I just read?
Yeah.
I read it again and again, and it finally sinks in. And that's hard for some people. Some people
Yeah.
are. It takes them a little bit more focus, but if it's
Yeah.
worth it, they'll do it.
Yeah, I,
Mhm.
I agree. I think so. Then again, my program and my book and what I teach is not for every teacher. Some teachers are having a great experience out there in the world. They have great parents, great kids, and they love everything about their job. My book is for people who were exactly like me or on the verge of being me and new teachers because I like to talk to new teachers so to get them in the space where it's okay to be ambitious, it's okay to have these goals, it's okay to want to change the world, but don't forget about yourself because once you forget about yourself, you get wrapped up into other people's lives and you think, you start watching the movies and think, I want to be like that on the movies. I'm like, but yeah, didn't she lose her husband? Didn't
There's
she
a lot
lose her
of
job a couple times? You don't want that.
yeah. Instead of constantly, yeah, you do have to cut ties though, and
Yeah.
that's the hardest thing too is letting go, knowing that it's not healthy, it's not supportive, and it's not
Mm.
something that is going to give back ever.
Mhm.
And that's part is to identify what is not healthy for you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and one of the things there's a lot of, facets of this. There's a lot of caveats to this, but one of the things is when you set boundaries, you find that you will have to keep setting them because people will push them oh no, are you sure you can't come on Saturday? You don't have any children. Come on, you don't have anything to do. They will push those things on you and you're like, "No, I said no 3 times already." You didn't hear the first one. I guess you didn't hear it. And it doesn't matter if I don't have a husband. I've had to have this conversation. I literally have. I'm not making this one up. But I've had to, it doesn't matter if I don't have a husband or a dog or a cat. It doesn't have anything to do with that. That's my personal time. And I choose not to give it up for you. I choose not to. Please ask someone else. Thank you so much. And I've had that conversation, but it's amazing to me that the teachers that I talk to on a regular basis, Nicole, the people that call me and ask me after they've read it, and they were like, "But what if, but what if, but what if?" And I always put it back on, "But what if something happens to you? But what happens if something in your life goes hooray? Are those people gonna come running for you? Those people that you're trying to impress or don't wanna make mad or don't wanna say no to? And this job that you're trying to hold on to, do you know teachers are, a hot commodity in the universe? They need
Oh,
teachers
especially,
everywhere."
especially
And
here.
you're so scared of losing your job. Let them, you know what? If I said this to a teacher. I said, if you stand up for yourself and you go and tell the principal exactly what I said, exactly the way I said it, because I'm very respectful. You say those words to them and they fire you, that is not a job you want. I promise you. And she was like, "You know what? You know what? I thought about what you said." And she did it. She did exactly what I said to do, and everything went smoothly. But she was so worried about what her boss would say, what her principal would say to her. I was like, if you lose your job behind standing up for yourself, it is not a job you want. I know that sounds harsh. I know you have bills to pay. I know you have health care benefits. But if I were to say something like, like a no on a Saturday, and I get fired for that because I don't wanna spend my personal time, that's not a job I want. I'm okay. I have a great resume.
But that is given the tools and
Mhm.
also the confidence
Mhm.
to be able to stand up for yourself, especially when there is pressure. Maybe they saw somebody get mistreated because they stood up for themselves.
True.
Uh, and the thing is, then you have to hold the people that are abusing their power in their
Accountable.
position be accountable.
Yeah. Now I've done that as well, and one of the reasons why I've gotten to this point is because I was a mentor teacher for a number of years, 13 years, 15, I think. I think it's about 15 now. And so they would always put the new teachers with me. And they would say, "But you're so bold, Miss Kendra. You're so outgoing, Miss Kendra. You're so," and I can't be like you. And I said, "You don't have to be like me. You just have to know who you are and just, say no every once in a while. You just have to be, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. Is it going to be okay?" I have a quick story about I have a testimony from one of my teachers from a while back, if I may.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so Miss Tanya she came to me. I hadn't written the book yet. This is before, I got here to this point where I am now. But Miss Tanya came to me as a new teacher. She was actually a mentee of mine. And she complained because she was an art teacher. She had studied art, she loved art, and they put her in the classroom to be an English teacher because that's what they do sometimes. Principals come in and say, "Hey, we got a shortage. We're going to pull you here and put you there." So she wasn't happy. So she would come to my room every day and she was like, I just don't like it, Miss Johnson. I just don't like it. I said, so what are you gonna do? And she was like, well, I said, have you talked to the principal? No. I said, you need to talk to her. She's like, well, she's very intimidating. I said, she's like, can you go in there with me? I said, I will not go in there with you because it's not my job. It's yours. You have to go in there by yourself. And it took me about 3 to 4 months to get her to get the courage to go up and say something. And she finally went to say something. And the principal said no. And the next year came around and she's back in English. She hated it again. So I was like, what are you going to do? Because you can't sit here and complain every day. You have to do something about it. She was like, I'll just talk to her one more time. I said, yeah, explain to her what you want and give her an ultimatum. Say, listen, if there's a position that opens up in art, I like for you to be considered to go be back in art. And if she says no, then tell her that, okay, well, tell her that you're going to be, moving to another, transferring to another school. And I was like, well, give her the ultimatum. And she was like, I don't think I can do that. And she didn't. She didn't. She didn't say anything. She was just scared. She was just young and she wasn't like me and she was a little timid. So at the end of the year, I encouraged her to do the job fair. I said, just go to the job fair. Then if you don't want to say anything to the principal, go to the job fair. She goes to the job fair with her resume. She gets 17 interviews. She gets 10 offers. 10 offers because they needed art teachers somewhere else. So the principal didn't want to move her to the art department. Fine. She went to another school. And so at the end of that story, I said to myself, now, if she didn't have me, let's say I wasn't there for her, let's say I wasn't giving her the feedback and wasn't telling her anything, how many Tanyas are there that are working in schools and in jobs and in positions that they absolutely don't like? How many Tanyas are there out there? I need to get busy. I need to get on my ball, get on the ball and do what I need to do to get my message out there. Like you can have the career you want, the hours you want, the title you want, and live in the way that you want if you design it that way. But waiting for people to respect your beliefs is a tragedy because they won't.
The thing is too, she ended up probably. I don't know if you touch base with her
I
since.
have, I have. She's a part of my
Right,
testimony. She's
yeah, she's
part of
probably, oh
the
my
things that I get.
goodness, I'm so grateful for you
Yes.
to give me that power empowerment that I needed, that courage.
Yeah.
Maybe not so directly because she
Hmm.
has to build that up. It happens through experience, and then
Hmm.
chopped down every time you're trying to stick up for yourself, and
Yeah.
then eventually you will find your way to be able to stand your ground and to not let anybody have you as a pushover, because it's hard
Yeah.
in any career, especially teachers. I don't know, out here in Vegas, there's like one teacher to 40 students.
Yeah. It's like that in a lot of big cities too.
Uh,
It's like that in a lot of big cities, and they just push us around because they feel like we can do it because we need you. You need us, but you need us as much as we need you, and it's always a power struggle. There's a lot of politics in education. I don't miss any of it, but it's there, and I address a little bit of it in the book, and I've done a few of it in the workshops. But if you just move all of that out of the way and get back to the purpose of teaching, how did you start it? Where your passion comes from? Because with Tanya, she loved art. I asked her one day, why do you love art so much? She said, because when I was little, it was the only way my parents used to fight. They used to fight a lot, and that was my way of expressing myself and expressing my emotions. It's like, I want to be able to do that for someone else. Okay, hold on to that. Hold on to that. Go into the office and tell her that. And she was just a little timid, a little shy, but she did get what she wanted at the end.
yeah, yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Another good tool that I've
Mhm.
used is, besides verbally communicating, I
Mhm.
paper trail it.
Yeah.
You have to respond
Yeah.
to that paper trail because there's some.
Yes. Mhm.
Hey, I have a grievance. This is not working out. Is there a way to uh, help fix a situation that is
Yeah.
complicated for me?
Yeah.
So, what ways can we could work together? But some people, they don't want to work. They just want
Yeah.
you to do whatever they say,
Yeah.
and they shut everything else down. So that part is really hard. It's not just with teachers too. I feel that
Yeah.
so inspirational. I think your book will help me with the showbiz, because showbiz is very. There's a lot of people that don't stick up for themselves in showbiz either. They're too afraid. They get taken
Yeah.
advantage of really bad on sets,
Yeah.
and they're afraid. They're
Right.
terrified actually to speak up for themselves. I'm very boisterous. I'm like blah 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 blah. Everyone's like, oh, you shouldn't. I'm like, why? If someone
Why
causes,
not?
why can't you stick? Why can't you stick up for yourself if it's a
Right.
legit issue and you have all
Mhm.
this documentation? They have to be corrected, or they're going to continue to do it to other people.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Sometimes I feel like I am, like a pioneer I know that I'm not the only teacher out there that's kind of, like me, but there's not enough of us speaking up. And that's like if you just, I know there's some of the states in the union are not necessarily strike states, but I'm like if all the teachers got together and said no, things would change immediately. Overnight, they would get the raises they deserve. They'd get the resources they deserve. They would get their kids would be treated better. They would get the that 1 to 40 ratio. They would do something about. They'd find a way to do something about it. But because we are, I heard a term with one of my teachers in an interview that I did the other day. She called it, we have compassion fatigue. We're overwhelmed with compassion, and they know that, and they take advantage of it every single time. We're overwhelmed. We want to help the kids. We're there for the students, and so they use that against us as leverage. And I'm like, never will you ever again. I am the most important thing in this classroom. You will never
Oh,
forget it.
you are the core.
Hmm.
It is. You are what keeps everything together. You are the
Hmm.
influencer, the teacher, the connector, the communicator. There,
Hmm.
so many titles, so many hats. It's not
Yep.
just teacher. It's
And
not
I
just.
should be taken care of. My health, my health, my mental health, my emotional health, all those things need to be taken care of. If you don't want to do it, then I'll be leaving right after the bell so I can go do it. It's not that hard for me. I've gotten it down to a science now. There's not a problem that I have occurred that has occurred now in the last 6 years since I've written all this down and gone through my changes that has not been dealt with through something from this toolkit. So
Wow.
it's just one of those things where, stress is going to happen. Politics is still here. Parents are still parents. They still complain about the littlest things. And so all of those little stresses, they don't bother me as much as they used to. They're still there, but I've found ways to just kind of, oh, well, we'll just deal with that tomorrow.
But it's not just teaching you how to deal with too. I mean, there's things that with safety issues. There's so much
Hmm.
that goes into it. It could be at any school.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things out here. I think people feel because they live in country or rural that they're not gonna get anything that we get in the cities. I said that's not
Yeah.
true.
Not
I said,
necessarily. No, it's
yeah,
not as safe. It's not as safe as we think it is in the States. And there is this fear. I remember working in the States, and we would have when I was a kid, let me go back. When I was a kid, we had tornado drills. Okay, I live in Texas. I grew up in Texas, so tornadoes were a thing. We would have tornado drills. Now I'm a teacher. We were having, lockdown drills
oh
for,
my goodness,
shooters. We had drills for those things, and I was like, wow, the world has changed, hasn't it? We'd have, lockdown drills. This is we'd have to do. They practice things on the PA, what to say, and we all have to go lock our doors, cut the lights off, and tell the kids to be quiet, just in case there's someone that comes into the room or the building with a gun. And then
threats.
you want me to just go back to teaching math after that? Just go back to teaching math? No, that takes a toll on people's mental health, and the students are terrified to
Oh
live
my,
in that type of environment. Yeah.
you
So what
just
does that do? What does that do to the adults?
But the thing is, you already you mentioned in the beginning, and you're reiterating it's mental health that
Yeah.
we don't have. We don't have enough centers. We don't have enough people
Mm.
to be able to help out, or the resources, or to be able to identify when someone is struggling. Like they kind of go because everybody's going through their own emotions, maybe like with blinders. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I've heard and I've talked to superintendents. I did a summit about 8 months ago. It's called a super summit, where I talked to superintendents. So they're high up in the ranks. They're the people that make the decisions. And the one of them said to me, well, he didn't say it to me directly, but he said it in the session that I was in, where aren't adults responsible for themselves, and they're adults. We're worried about the kids. I said, if you were worried about the kids, then you would take care of the adults, is what I said. If you're concerned about the kids, you have to take care of the adults because the adults are your human resources. And I said, you're going to be looking for teachers to take care of those kids if you continue to ignore that human resource that's in your classroom. You don't get the connection. You're missing the connection. Yes, we're here for the children. And yes, school is set up for the kids, but you can't run a school without teachers. Can't do it.
How do you feel
But
about the PTAs? The
say
parent
again.
the PTA is a parent teacher association where there's volunteers that are supposed to help connect the parent, the teacher, and the families and the community together.
Most of them work really, really well. You have parents that are very, very involved. They understand the plight of teachers. But then you have the now I can't speak for everyone, but you'd have to get a lot of teachers on here to be able to testify to this point. But there's a lot of PTAs that are just all political. Everything is a small little, almost like a clique, a group of parents, and their goal is to just take care of their children and to build up their children.
I know what you're talking about because I did the PTA once.
It's just a little clique, and I was like, okay, okay, they're not really in it for us. They're really in it for themselves, and it's just something that they can put on
Yeah,
their
they
little
waited
resume.
for everybody
It's a
else. It was
social thing for them. Yeah.
and very catty.
Yeah.
And when I joined, I was like, I wanted it to build a community. So I had the Fall Festival, 120
Mhm.
booths. I did so much work, but then it was like a fake nice because they know they could use me for resources. It wasn't like
Mhm.
they were there for themselves. And so
Yep.
that kind of is a turnoff then to want to be part of something that's supposed to be for everybody. So
Yes.
I did experience that. It was something I don't want to experience again. I'm like, I'm good.
Unfortunately, I know what you mean. And in some years, we had really good PTAs where they were really in it for us and the kids, and they tried to bridge the gap. And then some years, it was us against them. It's like it's one more battle I have to fight, and it wasn't. It's not even worth it. But they put on really good shows. They put on really good festivals for us. They raised money for the kids. They did bake sales. They did things that PTAs do. But the purpose of the PTA, and again, this goes back to leadership, because if the leader is in charge and they are, I guess they tolerate that, then it's going to be more of it. But if the leader is like, okay, that's enough of that, I will shut this PTA down. If you're not here for these kids and these teachers, we can shut it down. If a teacher if a the leader does that, then you can put a stop to it. But again, it's a good idea in theory. If you can get the right people in charge and involved, it's great. It is, because I love my parents. The parents that are really good to me, I love them, and they do outweigh the small little, the people that try to make trouble. They do outweigh those people, but the ones that you think about the most are the ones that she has the AC is too cold in her classroom. Can you tell her to cut it down? Things like that. they're
I had
there. They're there, but you just
I didn't experience it until I went in it. Nothing's like
Mhm.
fully going in. I volunteered because there's not enough staff. I wanted to
Mhm.
make sure there wasn't bullying. So I helped clean out the lunchrooms. Or the one lady's like, "Oh, if
Mhm.
you do my job too well, I won't have a job." I go, "I'm just volunteering. I just
Yeah.
help taking out the garbage and sweeping up everything, and
Yeah.
just trying to take the workload off because
And
they're
we
doing
appreciate that.
it."
There's
Yeah,
some teachers somewhere that's like, wish you would come back. We love that. We
no, no,
appreciate
no.
you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yes, they did. But it was like the thing is, if the bad outweighs the good for me too. Like you don't
Mhm.
want to be mistreated
Yeah.
when you're volunteering. And a lot of people were thankful, and they came to me for whatever issues there were because they felt comfortable. They know that I cared, and you could tell the difference. You could tell when someone actually
Mhm.
does care. You can feel their
Mhm.
energy too. Like the energy doesn't lie, in their
Mhm.
actions and
Mhm.
them actually I do miss it in an aspect. I have a younger son, and now he's homeschooled. I had to pull him
Mhm.
out for safety issues,
Yeah,
and um,
I
I'm,
get
I'm
it.
I learned sixth grade math. I can't do his math though. I was like, he had it's not happening. That's nothing. So I feel that there's a lot of things that as a parent too you have to
Yeah.
learn, and it's an eye opener to
Yeah.
know that see what a teacher. It's a title, but
Mhm.
do they know what's behind that title?
Yeah.
Oh, quiet! I got my one dog in here. I have to separate them. Acting up. Nope, no barking. So I had two dogs. You don't
Yeah.
need two dogs. I learned. I had a one best dog, and once you get a best dog, you're not
Uh-huh.
going to get a best dog ever again. Gotta get two dogs. So there's a lot of learning lessons I'm doing
Yeah.
as whatever I decide to pick and choose. But I
Mhm.
did learn from a friend. Her name's
Mhm.
Alexis Johnson.
Mhm.
For every yes you say, you're saying no to something else.
Yep.
Yeah. So that part's
She's right.
yeah. So pick your yeses wisely, or you're
She's
going to pay
right.
for it dearly. That's it.
Mhm.
I'm learning that, but it took me into my 40s. I'm in 44
Mm.
this year. It took me a long time to stand up for myself or to question, or if something's not right, to actually put it into words and identify it, and then bring it to
Mhm.
the attention of who I needed to. And it's
Exactly.
so hard because people don't want to be corrected when they are doing something. It's like,
But they don't have a problem correcting you, Nicole, and that's what you think about before you do it. Before
that's
you say what you have to say, you remember the last time someone hurt your feelings when they said something like, "Could you, like, wear your hair on the other side, please? It's just distracting me when you do it that way." And that's mean and uncalled for, and they do it in public, and you're like, "Wow, that was if that was me, I would have done it differently." It's your turn to do it differently. I love it. I enjoy that because I do remember what it feels like to be embarrassed in a meeting in front of, other people. And so now it's my turn to say, "Excuse me, I'm sorry. Could you go over the part where you think I'm going to work extra hours after school? Go back over that because I don't think I'm going to be able to do that." I've said that and I don't have a problem with it. And yes, yes, you are labeled a troublemaker. Yes,
ugh.
yes, you're a neighbor. You are labeled a person that speaks out and that pushes back. And yes, sometimes they don't always invite you to the tea parties. But at the end of the day, they absolutely will respect you and anything that you have to say. And if they want it done, they'll call you. If they want it done, they will call you. They will know that you
You know
because you
you'll
are a
get
person of
it done
integrity.
because you'll get it done. I've had
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I just bring things out, and I had a lot of guys, with
Mhm.
a lot of meetings, I did a lot of nonprofits, and the guys that met up, they're like, I got weird feedback, like I'm aggressive. I said, I'm assertive. No, no,
Mhm.
aggressive something different. I said, I'm assertive. I'll bring
That's
up.
probably a male person that said that because that's
Oh,
usually who says that
yes,
about
there
us.
was a couple of those, and I was like, I don't
Mhm.
think I'm aggressive. I'm assertive, and I bring things up with a
Mhm.
smile, even if it's that. Like I smile when I'm mad. I got a weird thing. I don't have like the. I'm like, oh, so mad right now. How do I react to it? Everybody's
Yeah.
like, oh, you're so happy. I was like, actually, this is my bad happy. I'm not
Yes.
happy right now. But there's
Mhm.
a lot to learn, and each person. Like I try to be respectful too. Like,
Yeah.
is it me? Did I contribute? How did I contribute besides keep on saying yes? And I do have
Mhm.
to be careful with that because I am a yes person.
Yeah. So was I. So was I. I was a yes person.
I gotta unloser this. I'm like, give me. Yeah.
No, no, no. There is absolutely nothing wrong with saying yes when it's convenient and it goes along with your values and your priorities. If it doesn't go against anything that you believe in, it's great. It's absolutely great. But sometimes, it's like, time out. Let's rethink this. Let's rethink this because what you're doing is not making any sense to me. And I want to help you, achieve this goal. But I'll give you a quick one because this was 3 weeks ago. I want to say three, maybe 4 weeks ago. They called on the weekend and it was in the morning. And Miss Kendra, we need you to do this worksheet. This Excel sheet. You didn't do it. I said I could have sworn that I did it before I left. No, no, no. We showed that you haven't done it. And then God being is mercifully is I had a screenshot of it. I said no. I did it, and I sent it to her, and she was like, "Well, we didn't get it. Maybe it got erased on accident because it was one of those shared Excel
Oh, the
sheets."
spreadsheet things that.
Yeah, the spreadsheet. It was a spreadsheet that we all shared, so maybe it got erased. And I said, "That's gonna be a you problem.
I love
That's
it.
gonna be a you
My
problem.
younger son says that to me.
Yes, that's a you problem.
I've been hearing
Yes."
that's a you. He's been telling me that.
Yes, you have two ways to deal with it. This is two problems that I don't have. That's your problem and not mine. It is just this is a you problem. It'll be taken care of Monday morning. But we need it right now. It's already past due. I'm sorry to hear that, but you're on my weekend.
That's
Good
too little,
night. Please
too
do
late.
not call me.
That's too little, too late. Like, what? Why are these? Why is somebody scrambling so last minute, impeding on your days off, which you don't get that many days off? It's like,
What emergencies get there on the weekend? There is no emergency. It'll wait till Monday, and it did, and nothing blew up. The school did not burn down because I didn't do this Excel sheet. It's fine, and
everybody
it was like
showed up. There was nothing that had to be. Yeah, that
Mhm,
is something though. When that that and that's a good point. I've had that happen where I did spreadsheets.
mhm,
Erased it on me. Oh, we
mhm,
must have done it. Good thing I had a backup saved, and good thing you
mhm,
document. So everybody should save their whatever they're supposed to be, that whatever they did and completed, and they forward it to their boss. Save it always because things like that happen.
mhm. But
Yeah.
in my old days, the old me would have been like, "Oh my God, let me do it again. I don't want to make them mad. I don't want to upset them. Let me just go do all of that work again." No, I shall not be doing that. You will wait until it's time for me to be back at work. I'm on my weekend. You're on my weekend hours. You have a great day. And three people called me. It was the vice principal and the coordinator and all those people called me. I'm not doing it. I no means no.
You had 3 people calling you for that.
Three people called me.
That's not even healthy. That is.
Mm-mm. That's just to put pressure on me to do it, and I still said I said no to all of them. I said no to all of them. That sounds like a problem you need to fix.
Oh my,
Mhm.
so much I learned from you. Just
Mhm.
thank you so much. There's just, and there's a lot of viewers, and there's a lot I want to share, and I'm going to connect your link to your book. It's in
Okay.
my Facebook. I have Facebook. Instagram, I'm still a little rusty at. It's, but I want people to be, and then the CCSD. I think I'm going to share this link on there too, because
Okay.
I want others to be able to have that confidence and
Mhm.
boundaries, and not to be able to be used and abused
Yeah.
in their job position, because that's not what you're there for. You're there to
No.
get paid and do your job, and not have everybody just dump whatever they think they can on you at that moment,
Mhm.
or change things up when you didn't sign up for certain things, like with that art teacher having to take
Mhm.
English class. I didn't realize they could do stuff like that.
Oh yeah, they can do that at the moment's notice. And what I say in my workshops when I'm wrapping things up, and I've basically scared them into submission. I say things like, "You can get another job. You just can't get another you." So you need to take care of you, because the job is not going to take care of you. And that, I wish people would stop thinking that. They keep thinking that if I pour myself into this job, that one day it'll just be pouring back. The kids will. They'll be your receipts. They'll come back and give you love, but the job itself will not. It does not give back to you. It's an inanimate object. It doesn't give it to you like your family will, your husband and wife and your dog will. They won't love you the same. So
Mhm.
you pay, make sure you take care of the priorities in life. Make sure you take care of those things first and then go do your job.
Know
And I'm
your,
a better teacher because of it. I am. I'm a better teacher because of it.
but more than just a teacher too.
Mhm.
What an inspirer and motivator and good
Yeah.
human being, like all around, and really amazing. So I had my
Yeah.
first interview. I'm just letting you know, it had to be
Yeah.
a heart transplant like person,
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't think I'll get another interview this good, but I did. My second interview was
Yeah.
amazing. You're
Yeah.
amazing. You're amazing. I don't know what's going on outside. I got some lawn work. I got this dog next to me that was doing weird things to a pillow. I was like very distracted. I think I have to have like a room where it's no sound. Things I
Yeah.
am learning. I'm forgetting now. Like, oh my goodness, it's there's a lot of weird distractions I was having when I'm talking. Like, what is weird stuff? But you couldn't see it. You could only see this.
No, no, no. I was focused on you and your words and what you were saying. Yes.
I was focused,
Yeah.
but I was also seeing some distraction. I'm like, what's going on there with that dog doing that to the pillow? That was gross. I was like, FYI, I know. But what's one thing absolutely getting your book? How
Yeah.
many pages is your book? How you like that?
Oh, it's not very long. It's not very long. It's more like a manual is what I call it. It's like every chapter has a journal at the end where you can write down something that you can relate to the chapter, or things that you want to do differently. It asks you about 5 or 6 questions after each of the chapters. It's only about 150 pages,
Okay.
and there is an audio version. There is an audio version. There's me
I
speaking. Yeah.
know.
Yeah, there's an audio version of me speaking. If you can stand the sound of my voice for 3 hours, there is an audio version of me speaking and reading the book out loud. So yeah.
I have another question too. I know you
Mhm.
had your bachelor's. What
Yeah.
was the incentive for your master's?
My master's was, I wanted to have the ability to be able to move around. My master's is in education and administration, so I wanted to be able to move up to be a vice principal if I so choose to. But as my career has evolved and I have evolved, by being a vice principal is just not in the cards for me. I'd much rather do this. I'd much rather hold workshops, train teachers, be a mentor teacher, and of course, I'm still in the classroom. Someone wrote, "Is she still a school teacher?" Yes, I still teach fifth grade English and science and math. I do. I teach that in the morning, and then at night I do my program, and I talk with mentors and mentees. And my goal is to expand my program to be able to teach other teachers to do what I do, and start mental health and wellness groups in their community where they can be support for each other, and they can teach things from the book and teach things from the workshop, because the workshop is a little different. It's a lot more intense than the book. I will be speaking in the States in June.
Okay.
I'll be stateside in June in Long Beach, California. I'll be speaking at a teachers conference there, selling the book, talking about the new TV show that I'll be coming out with, and hoping to get some guests on that.
We
Mhm.
gotta slow. That's like a lot of wait. You're gonna come out to Long Beach in California in June. Is
Yeah.
there a link? Is there a way I can make the like an invite thing?
I have to get the information from the coordinators and the promoters of that event, but I'm just basically a speaker. So I don't know if I have. I doubt seriously I have an affiliate link. I doubt that, but I'm pretty sure there's a general
Oh my
link
God.
that that they can have and come and see me speak. But if not, just contact me through the information in the book. I do group classes at the once a month because I'm global, so I can't go to the states every weekend. But if people want to get in contact with me and they want to vent, usually my teachers like to vent. They love to get in that chat room and just like, let me tell you what happened today. La, 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 la. So I try to help them with all those little things that are going on in their campuses and give them, okay, now this is what you need to do. Write this down and stuff like that. So there's always a way to contact me and get in contact with me. But the best way to start is to get to know the book because the book
Well,
introduces you to me. Yeah.
I'm gonna put
And
that
my
in.
story.
And also, I was hearing a show. What's going on with the show? What's happening?
I was approached for a TV show 3 times last year and I said no to each one. I absolutely did. I said, "This is not something that's for me." No, no, no. You have a great voice. You have I've already been, public speaking for 10 years. And no, you have a great presence. You have a great stage presence. I was like, I know that. But that, TV show, that's not for me. I'm just I don't know if I want this face on television. And that fourth person, I was like, they came the fourth person was a third person. They were like, I want you to talk to this person. And I talked to the person for 4 minutes, 5 minutes. And she was like, I need you on my station. I need you here. Let me set you up with the initial um, application, and I want you to apply and just let me know. And it took me 3 months to apply and say yes. And then it took me 3 more months to just get, the idea for the show and what I want to promote and what I want to, do. And eventually we'll be in pre-production. But right now I am looking for guests because I'm not going to start production until I find, adequate guests that want to be on the show because TV is different than podcasting. Podcasting is free, TV is not. So I have to get the right kind of guests that don't mind, contributing to the marketing budget.
Called? Did you
It's
know
going to
what?
be called
You know
Be
what I do?
Exceptional.
I'm a producer.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So am I, but I don't know it. I'm like you with that. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just learning.
Forward into movies, documentaries. I mean, there's a yeah. I'm just there's a lot of ways to go about it too. Like
Yeah.
there's GoFundMe's, there's
Mhm.
Indiegogo campaigns.
Yeah. So let me think about the GoFundMe because that's all I need is to fund it. And so once I get the funding for it, then it's going to be off to the races. And I'm going to be just like you. I'll be looking for guests to come on the show and I'll be the person on the other end. But I'm not ready. But I'm going to do it afraid. How's that? I'm going to do it afraid. I'm going to keep going.
You sound really ready to me. I mean, you already have.
Everybody keeps telling me that. I was just like,
I
"You'll be
feel
great at
it.
this.
I
You'll be
don't
great at
say
this." I'm
it
like,
either. People are saying that's like a message through the universe that's
Yeah.
telling you are ready. You might not be because that's a big step. It's an
Yeah, it
unknown
is.
area. It's an
Yeah.
unknown area. Just like what you were telling me, writing a book that would be
Yeah.
unknown to me. I write like Dr. Seuss. I would need. I think it's called a ghostwriter.
Yeah, ghostwriter, yeah. You got I think I'm on Fiverr for that ghostwriting as well because I do like to write. But TV was not my thing, but I guess it's gonna be my thing, and I'll let you know when we'll find out. We'll find out if it's gonna be my thing. We'll
Oh
find
yeah,
out.
I'm gonna connect you to some people. I mean, if you find me through Facebook, I can
Yeah,
just tag you on all the interviews that I know. There's a lot of podcasts. There's a ways to just connect when you
yeah,
are ready and you need that help with the funding.
yeah.
If you set up an Indiegogo, I don't mind helping contribute. There's a lot of thank yous. There's a lot of shout out things where you put it at the end of your credits. You can do
Okay, it is called what now? Let me write this down. Indiegogo?
Indiegogo campaign.
Cool.
There's all
It's like GoFundMe, is that right?
GoFundMe, but it's more put out there, especially when you're doing it for showbiz, for movies, for documentaries, TV series.
Ah,
Um,
perfect.
because I've only had 2 years and 2 months now in, and it was
Mhm,
rough. I'm telling you, when you do go and you want to learn a different direction, a different you, a different area of experience, and you have none. I'm still fighting that current on it because it's so different. That
mhm,
showbiz is unlike anything I've ever experienced before,
mhm.
but it will help you build that platform.
Yeah,
And you are a connector. You're a world connector. You're a doer. You're a creator. You're a noisemaker.
yeah, I am.
Yeah. Yes.
Noise maker for sure. Noise maker for sure.
Within that area of showbiz, I can connect you to the certain people that I have worked with that are credible. But this is amazing too. I just feel that you might not feel like you're ready, but everybody's like, you got it.
Yeah,
You did the work. You've done the
yeah,
work on yourself, and you're
yeah.
doing it for others.
Mhm.
This
That's
is
the
the
goal.
next step.
Yeah.
Yes. So Yeah, you have my email.
Yes.
If you have my number, and you do have a friend in Vegas, Las Vegas. If you ever come this way, don't come in the summer though. It's too hot. We're,
Same
we're-
here. It's exactly the same climate in this place where I live here too. It's just ridiculously hot. Yep.
yeah, there's a couple of interviewers that I know that would love to connect with you. They're also,
Mhm,
it's weird because they end up going to showbiz,
mhm,
because you do have this great presence, charisma, uh, goodness. Because
mhm.
you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it to help other people out, and that
I am.
platform is much needed. So that, and it kind of goes hand in hand.
Mhm.
It goes hand in hand. But I'm excited. Oh, look at this. Look at, oh, I got somebody else. Oh, let me share I'm trying to share it too. I'm new. I'm still new. I can only get better. I can't get worse for what I'm doing because it's a learning process.
Yeah.
Everything is learning and connecting. And it's
Yeah.
not connecting here in Vegas. I do want to go global. I want to connect with people that say, you're like, Nicole, this is who I am. This is what I'm about. And this is what I do, not just for
Well,
myself, but
come
for others.
when I do my next workshop, you're welcome to come to Dubai or Abu Dhabi, and I'll show you around.
Oh, yeah, like it'll be on my to-do list. I would love to do something like that. So if what just send me the information. I'll have to bring some friends with me though. I can't
Yeah.
travel by myself. I don't
No,
know.
no, 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 of course not. I'll show you around. Bring some friends with you, show you the ropes, and you'll see why we never leave when we get here. Why we never
I'm
leave.
like, oh, now I know why. I heard
Yeah.
very good things about the
Mhm,
city, and I have a
mhm.
timeshare. People make fun of my timeshare, but it's only 180 bucks for a whole week to stay. Transfer the timeshare.
Yeah.
It's a good deal.
Come on.
I gotta find some deals while I can.
Yeah.
So where can people connect with you on your social media platforms?
Oh, wow. Teacher of the year is usually my handle. So I have a teacher of the year on Facebook. You should see my face because there's probably more than one. And then teacher of the year, IG is teacher of the year 1 3 because there's a lot of them. Teacher of the year 1 3 is my IG, and then there's teacher of the year, my email address, and then there's Teach for Life, the Outlook one. All of those things can be shared if you get on my and then if you join my Facebook group, that's when I do some of my lives. I do some of my little master classes in there. I'll be sharing my podcast through there, and then that's when I'm trying to pick up some quality guests from those interactions, but I have to meet people, and I have to get out there and meet more people that can help me spread this word.
Oh, I'm gonna put it all over my other groups as long as they accept it
Mhm.
because you have to filter it, and then I'm gonna send your links too, after
Okay.
I'm done. And I will join your groups on your Instagram, that the teacher of the year 1 3.
Mhm.
And then your face will be on the Facebook one. So that'll help. So
Yeah.
I'll be like, there is usually tons.
Yeah, there are. There are probably more than I think there's a lot. I think it's Teacher of the Year 2020 is when I started that group. So
Okay.
it's just try to find it. It's not very big group because I have a very small following and that's the way I like it. But my promoters and all the people that love me, no, you need to go bigger. You need to go bigger. You need to get it right. Yeah.
Gotta hug the world. I know it.
Yeah.
You have everything you've done. You've
Mhm,
worked on yourself first because you can't help
mhm.
and heal or redirect other people to something that is better and thriving for them unless you've done it for yourself, and you've done it.
Yep.
You already wrote books too. I'm like, I'm not there yet. I'd be like, oh, Kendra, would you
Yeah.
say you know how to ghostwrite something like that? I don't.
Yeah, I will ghostwrite it.
Oh, who wrote this? Did you finish high school? Like, I did. I did a little bit of college too, but didn't pass the math. Until there's no math in a degree, I guess it's not for me. And I joke around because they're like, oh, I have a PhD. There's people that and I'm like, so do I. And they're like, you do? I'm like, yeah, public high school diploma. I was so, but I finished high school. You are for me. But I
Yeah.
enjoy others that it comes to them. They put the work in, but they
Yeah.
also are very educated and very
Mhm,
worldly and very motivated to be that change that they wish
mhm,
they had, but they didn't have. They had to do it for
mhm.
themselves, but they did all the work and now they're giving back. So it's pretty amazing.
Exactly. That is
So
exactly right, and you just be wanna, Nelson Mandela said, "Be the change you wanna see," but also, remember that you don't have to be the greatest of all things. You don't. You really don't have to be the expert. You just have to have a few steps above someone else or 2 steps ahead of someone else, and then leave the door open. You just open the door and then leave it open for the next person behind you, and that's the easiest thing. My mentor says that to me because we wanna be perfect. Oh, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect teacher ever, but I'm balanced enough to be able to show someone else how to be balanced. Yeah.
and that's what matters. I mean, it
Mhm,
is. I think it's globally too, because there's so many people. It's not just here in the states, which is
mhm.
really cool that you don't live here in the states now. I was like, oh my gosh, my first interview overseas. See how I get all like, woo, so excited.
Yeah.
But it's global. There's so many people that want to connect globally, and that's I
Yes.
feel when you are inspiring and
Mhm,
you've healed yourself and you worked on yourself. The next step when you can and you are doing it
mhm.
is to help other people
Mhm.
around you in the community and globally. That's what it takes.
That is the
So
goal.
I mean, the purpose with the passion and
Mhm,
not getting burned out. So that's why I have to
mhm.
read your book. I'm like, how now? How do I? I'm gonna have to have highlights and I like to have the questions at the end because it's gonna make
Yep.
me think. What did I just read? Did I understand it?
Mhm. Is there something you can relate to, and how is your life, different? And if you made different choices, where would those things go? What would your life be? Because we don't take charge of our careers enough. We allow our careers to take charge of us, but we don't take the reins enough. That's how I got here. People keep asking me how I got here because I took charge of my career and said enough is enough. I want to have my life on my terms, and I do. I live by water. I live in a high rise apartment. There's water downstairs. I can take a walk. Those are the things that I designed. I wanted it that way. But I wouldn't have gotten there if I'd have taken that leap of faith and said, forget what they're talking about, forget what they're talking about, and forget the politics of the United States because,
Oh, I
that's
don't
not
even
the
know.
only place.
I don't even, you know what? I don't even listen to any of the news. But when I do, I know when something's bad is going on because I'll start seeing it pop
Mm,
up on my social page. I'm like, okay, what's happening? I'm missing something. I
mm.
better be careful what I miss, though, huh? Because it's just
Yeah.
like I can see the vibe change. I'm like, is this like a Twilight Zone day? Like, what's happening?
Mhm,
Like, I started like looking all like, but then there's nonprofits, so that's where I like to give back when I come across somebody because I
mhm.
volunteered a lot of places for the last 12 years. In the showbiz, I thought I could just jump right in. There's no such thing as that. I'm so ignorant with that. I'm dumb. Because there's a lot to learn in that industry, so it was very
Yeah,
consuming. And it sounds like for a teacher, very consuming. How
it is.
you be in something and set those boundaries because you don't realize it when you have that passion, you do. You just
Mhm,
want to give, and then you burn yourself
mhm,
out. And then
mhm,
you're good, not even yourself, you're
mm,
done. And
yeah.
so I really need your book. I
It's
really
here
need
for
it.
you.
Oh, I
I'm
need
gonna give you the audio copy. We're gonna start there, and then you can buy the
no, I'm
physical copy later.
Amazon because you worked hard. I'm going to buy it off Amazon. When I do, though, I'll make
Yeah,
sure I take a picture and then I'll do my progress, a little like section once I
yeah.
start reading it. Because I do an in person interview where everything's set up for me. I didn't realize how hard it is. I was like, what? Try to set things up and add some intro. I can't even do that yet. I'm figuring it out.
Yeah.
It's not, it's for me, that's complicated, but for somebody else, it's
Mhm.
like a no-brainer. It's like smooth as cutting butter. Like it's not for me though. I'm like I'm using a saw trying to, and it's not working.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think connecting to the right people, the
Mhm.
motivation, and having a platform will help you even grow more
Yeah.
and
Here.
communicate and share how to reevaluate and redirect
Mhm.
yourself when it is too much chaos around you and you have to be able to have some serenity in your life and your purpose
Exactly.
and your passion or it turns into work.
Mhm. Everything is work, though. Everything.
Oh, I know, you're right.
Yeah, everything becomes work, and you're not supposed to be pushing the boulder uphill 24 hours a day. Everybody would get exhausted doing that. So you just pick and choose when you push the boulder. That's it.
Well,
And
that's
then
a
when you
hard
put the
one
boulder
though.
down, put it down, let it sit there until Monday, and then pick it up again, push it uphill, and leave it there at the school, and then come home and take care of your personal life. It's just
I'm
really
telling
it's hard to do, but once you do it, and once you find that peace, you will fight to keep it. You will. You will fight
you,
to
I
keep
can't
it.
wait.
And once you keep it, it's like, "Oh, please. Anything that threatens it, I don't know. I don't want that."
I'm gonna hear your book and be like, no, Kendra.
Yeah.
Kendra Johnson. I'm like, and on page
Yeah.
so right here, I'm
Yeah.
sticking up for myself. But
Yeah.
it is hard because
Mhm.
I don't know why I became that either, a people pleaser, and it's too
You're not
much.
the only one. That's a very common thing for people who have a lot of compassion and who wear their hearts on their sleeves, and we love what we do. A lot of nurses are like that. We want to help all the time and save the world. But we can't sacrifice ourselves in the process, and it's a different generation that we grew up in, where you just put your head down and you go to work every day. You do what the boss tells you because you don't want to lose your job. We don't live in that world anymore. You go to work every day. You hold your head up. You walk into the boss's office and say, "Hey, we work together. Let's do this as a team. I don't work for you. I work with you. And what
Not
do you
just
need from me? Yeah, and then what? This is what I need from you. If you need this from me, this is what I need from you. It's a different world, and people don't get it yet. They're not there yet. They're not there yet. They're too afraid of the.
just to
Mhm,
be able to do that because yeah, you're back in the day, you do
mhm,
you head down, you keep working, no matter how much they pile on you because you don't
mhm,
want to lose your job. They did it at the post office. I worked at the post
mhm.
in Buffalo, New York. I thought my husband was going to lose his job, so I went out there, and they
Yeah.
had a group of guys. They were there a few months before me, a little bit more seniority, but they were
Mhm,
taking people's days away after they scheduled it in. So 10 days,
mhm,
12-hour days,
mhm,
nonstop, like 70-pound sacks, nonstop, and I stuck out for myself, but they needed it. I mean, fortunately, I didn't need the job. Like my husband
right.
was to keep his job, but I did step up, and I'm like, and I was like the only one sticking up. I go, wait a minute, you can't take away that job. You can't take away someone's day like that. And like,
Mhm,
I said, I'm going to go to what's it called, the union. And he goes, well, you don't have the union for 3 months. It's 3 month thing. And I said, well, you're taking it on my paycheck like I have it now. You know,
mhm.
I was like, what do you
Yeah.
know? I was like, you can't just, but it is. It's really hard because they will take advantage, and it's not just as
Mhm.
teachers. I did other
Yeah.
jobs too. I keep switching my job career field. I don't know what's going on. Not a different background. So,
Yeah.
but in each one, I
Mhm.
could apply everything you just said.
Yeah.
Everything you just said and mentioned. I mean, you just gave the heads up on it,
Mhm.
and I feel the book you have is going to give me the tools to be able to incorporate it in my life more.
I hope so. And if there's anything in there that resonates, just let me know. If some of it you just have to trash because it's about teaching only, then that's fine too. But what I tell people who are not in, my neck of the woods, or if they're not in my field, I say everyone knows a teacher though. Get it for them. We all know one. Even if
Oh,
it's
I
just
know
your
so many.
children's teacher, you know tons of them.
Oh,
So
there's.
I always have an audience. No matter who I speak to on
I'm
these
going to share
stages,
this
I always have an audience. Yeah.
I think it's really beneficial and maybe
Mhm.
connect to so many people I do know in different schools that are PTA. It'd be beneficial too for especially new teachers, along with other ones that are maybe struggling. So everything you shared with me, I'm going to share the heck out of it until they
Mhm.
restrict me on Facebook because that's what they do.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you are spammy, you overshared. But then I knew I shared enough. So
Right.
that's how it goes. But thank you so much. I know it's really late there.
Mhm.
Um, and thank you for just taking the time. If there's anything I could do or share beyond anything else that's coming up, let me know when you have that Indiegogo or whatever fundraising, because I will contribute to that.
Okay. And just the link to the book, I need to sell 1,000,000 copies by the end of the year. That is the goal.
Oh, is that? Oh, you know what? We just have to share a little bit. In India, India has like 1 million people right there.
Yeah.
I have friends there, so they're like, Nicole, you need to come out here. I was like, they
Yeah.
will show.
India's hot too, though.
Is it hot too?
I've been to India 3 times. Yeah, I've been to 35 countries. And India, I've been to India 3 times, and it's hot every single time I go. I've never not gone when it's hot.
So
Been to
on
see
your
the
book,
Taj Mahal.
do you
Hmm?
have a QR code on your book? I would bring your book everywhere and just have people scan it when you're traveling.
There's no, there's just the ISBN number.
Okay.
Um, I guess we could put it in the QR code. You could just put the Amazon link in the QR code, maybe.
It just makes it quicker because a lot of people just like
Mhm.
to scan because maybe you don't have that much time to talk to them, but you travel to so many different places. I mean, I would just bring
Mhm.
that everybody's like, hey, I'm so and so, just in case you ever need it. You never know. That's what I do. Like if I was on a
Yeah.
bus or whatever, I always talk and share my information with
Yeah.
other people. So because it's all connecting people to each other and the
Yeah.
resources they need. So
Yes, yes, yes. And
yeah.
when I see a teacher that maybe I saw someone the other day, a VP, she looked stressed, I gave it to her.
Oh,
Just
you're
read it.
yeah.
I
You're
did,
just
just read it.
pay it
Read
forward.
it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like she's all be on tomorrow. Yep, I have a couple more. I lined up only 2 weeks straight. I can't do that again. I did interview. I was going to say yes, and so more people want it. I was like, I can't one per day or two per day, but
Yeah.
yeah, people are paying.
You're getting the hang of it. I'm gonna be exactly where you are in a couple months because it'll be my turn to tape and
I
I'm
can't wait, and you can share everything on Nicole's Vegas Views page too. Anything that you start needing to promote,
Mhm.
it's connecting people to each other. So anything you want to share, absolutely share, especially when you do have an upcoming podcast, because the viewers help, and eventually you could do sponsors, and they will sponsor your show. I know that's
From your lips to God's ears. Let's make it happen.
all of it, all of it.
Come on,
So
universe. Yeah.
I'm going to try something now with graphics. I'm going to end this interview. Thank you for staying tuned to Nicole's Vegas Views with Kendria Johnson. Amazing, phenomenal. I'm going to get her book. I suggest getting her book if you're anything that I had to go through, or the teachers, or any profession. I mean, any profession, everything that hit the nail on the head. Everything that you discuss, I feel that could benefit anybody, unless they already have their stuff together. But there's so many new challenges, especially when you're connecting with more people. There's more that you're not used to. Like, I had so many pouring in. That showbiz is not just interviews and red carpet events. It's stunts. It's being an actress. It's being a producer. It's working the crew side. There's commercials. It's like the sky's the limit. So there's a lot of different avenues of approach, and it's like, where do you take? I don't know if I want to leave that door open for everybody. I got questions before they enter. They need to answer some questions first, because you don't know in that showbiz. It's not just your teachers, and they have a background check, right? Showbiz has a background check. You don't know who's coming through that door. You're like, wait a minute. Hold on a second. So I mean, it's just a learning process, and it can get a little scary. I don't know. I just go with some. No, I'm not going with the flow yet. I try to go with the flow, but I'm going against the current, because everything I've learned in my life this is so different, but it helps apply towards this. And I really feel that TV series or something that's inspiring, maybe even make a documentary about yourself.
Yeah.
Huge. Just like the guy that I talked to yesterday with the heart transplant.
Mm-hmm.
I never talked to a heart transplant recipient before. I mean,
me either. Yeah.
The hospital, that would be a good guess. He went to the hospital and woke up 6 days later. His wife had to make the decision. He didn't even know when he woke up that he had a new heart, somebody else's heart. And you learn so much. Sometimes they only last 10 years. And he got it from a convict, which doesn't matter, because I could have been a convict too. They just never caught me. I'm just like, I never got caught on some things. Good now. Some good misguided teenager. So I mean, it's just connecting, understanding, and promoting not just yourself, but what you love to do, and you're doing it. And I'm definitely gonna follow you as much as I can. Sometimes I get busy, and I'm like, what day of the week it is? I don't even know what's going on. I'm like, but I'm here, and I have to learn how to say no too, though. I think that's what it is. I kind of type A personality. Are you type A?
No, I'm type B. But I think it's I don't know if type A personalities are people pleasers, but they're definitely perfectionist. Detail oriented people. I'm not. I'm a B. It'll get done when I get it done. I'll get it done when I get done. And I'm always late. And because I'm worth it.
I definitely thought type A, because you're go-getter, and you know how to
I might be mixed. Maybe mixed in there, but
maybe it's But thank you so much. I will stop talking your ears off. You're like, pleasure to have you on. And thank you. And I'm going to see if I can find out in June, the Long Beach, California, where you're going to be a public speaker. That's amazing. Very excited. So once I get that information, I will share it too. Maybe have a group and invite people from that area, and also put it on the group page there, so you could connect with more people. I don't know who does the marketing for that, but marketing is very important.
Yeah, it is. It is. And the promoters, I'll have to let you know who the people that are putting this on and having me there. I'll let you know.
All right, thank you. Thanks for staying tuned, everybody. This is Nicole Vegas Views. Nicole Vegas and Kendria Johnson, amazing teacher, motivator, author, speaker, soon to be having her own podcast. So we're gonna have to stay tuned and follow her page, which is Teacher of the Year page. Teacher of the Year page, and then Instagram, Teacher of the Year 13. I'm gonna try to see if this works now. It's gonna be some kind of an intro.
Okay.
Let's